Okay, so today is what's today's date? July 1st. Maybe July 4th will be a real Independence Day. I doubt it. We are at Sharkys in Thousand Oaks, Westlake, 111 Westlake Shopping Center, whatever. And we're here to continue our discussions about what's being done in my life, and Brittany, who has witnessed endless things from place to place. And I should note that last week, after going to Planet Sushi, which was next to a Starbucks, their attacks significantly ramped up and got extremely aggressive immediately afterwards. After I left from place to place, and mass attacks, people following me, posing as gang stalking targets, ramping up the man tactics, which originally, when I got all the Starbucks and other public places with the man tactic last time, is when Dincy flipped out with, who knows, paying off or whatever, Starbucks employees to make up lies that I threatened to kill all Starbucks customers because he knows it's on video. Now with recent Detective Angela Stewart death threats with the bye-bye tactic, and defense attorneys. Did we talk about on video the defense attorney last time? Okay, well that Ricardo, we'll go through that in a second. Ricardo, I spoke with this lady, Shayna, which calls herself Shauna, after she hung up or in her messages kept saying bye-bye, hinting about Detective Angela Stewart's death threats before those arrests in 2016. Which are now ramping up with these people, and the man tactic again in Starbucks. Obviously, lots of corporate money is being paid to people to have me killed. And no, I'm not afraid to say that on video. Hence things like yesterday or the day before, the amount of video of people saying man to me, cigar shop guys breaking who can't set me up and trigger me, actually breaking and spitting in my face on video as I'm driving away because he can't get what he wants. Those reactions, proving even more and more that by meeting Brittany close to a Starbucks, not even going in, not having anything of theirs, showing that, hey Kevin, you're not allowed in the Starbucks, but you're also not allowed in a Coffee Bean, and if you're anywhere in our vicinity within 100,000 miles, we're going to hunt you down and kill you, and it's your fault because you're ruining our lives and you're making us do this, proving that point again and again and again, that it's all bullshit, like Brittany said, and more importantly than that, they have something to hide that's so bad that killing me is their only out, and riling up the masses to do it. And a lot of those masses, I'm sure, are paid off, maybe even offered rewards. Okay, so I guess on that note, we're going to start with my information about... now, I handed Brittany last time a stack of paperwork. Ricardo, this defense attorney and the investigator, Shayna, who calls herself Shauna, Ricardo D. Garcia, who's calling me up for this Cole Lewison, saying we think you filed, or did you file like an internal affairs complaint against Cole Lewison for our defense case. And out of all the people that I've dealt with, I've never heard that name. Well, I mean, Lee is one of Lee Jensen, Toro, I don't think is his real name. Several others, but then there's partners that you don't know their names. But either way, I never made a direct call. I'm calling to complain about Lewison. Now, there's a whole thing going on here, and I can't tell you if I'm 100% accurate, but there's a level of subliminal stalking. Okay? You don't have this paperwork. And what that is like the things you're seeing around, people walking by, quoting my things off Twitter or Facebook, or people collecting my lifetime conversations and walking by, mimicking them to try to get me to go off on people and make me look like a violent, paranoid schizo. There's an even subtler level of paranoid schizophrenia tactics There's more on the subliminal part, and that's using names to send hinting messages and things like that. And so I'm going to break down these few phone calls and messages from Shayna, who calls herself Shauna, and I'm going to explain. I'm not going to be right for all of them, but I'm pretty sure some of them I'm accurate on. Example: why did Shayna call herself Shauna? Because right before my father fired me, which the real reason he fired me is because I told him I didn't want him taking me out to dinner on my birthday, which gets into a long, complex conversation about what my father's really doing. But Shauna at his office was one of the heavy hitters, making up lies that I'm stopping her from working, I'm stopping her from getting emails. All the emails, every one of her email complaints were all fictional. Example, she would send emails to people that don't exist and go, Kevin, you're incompetent and I can't work because you can't get this working. And I go, give me the email or forward it to me, and I look and it says, recipient doesn't exist. And then, I was actually going to go into this later, and then what they do is they get everyone together to do similar things, and so maybe 10 people come up. None of these people can send out emails. And then I go through the headers of each one. Server doesn't exist. Spam bounce. Yeah. We're labeling this as spam. All legitimate on my side of things that are out of my control, but they're doing it intentionally. How they all get together at the same time, and I'll go through the stack of paper, and none of them are legit, right?
That was going on.
No, this is a blonde Russian who accused me of being a hacker, and Lorena sat her next to me while she worked on me with these mass groups. Then Lorena moved her in the back, and then Lorena was probably saying that I was doing something to her like they always do from each person. She followed me to a Starbucks in Victory and Canoga. She followed me in there. I didn't talk to her. I was like, I'm not talking to her. And then she was collecting from Coffee Bean employees my conversations. Right? Okay, so I go to a Coffee Bean, get in the office, she would mimic back the conversation, showing these stalking operations. Then she was linked with the Lynn Junkin girl at University of Colorado, who they sent my brother's friend Mike Wexler after me, in hopes that he could try to manipulate me into like statutory rape and things like that, telling me that in Colorado statutory rape is under 16 and weird things like this, right? So you get the idea that all these things are linked and connected. Anyways, I don't want to go too deep into her. She's in the notes for later. And I should mention that at the end of the last video, I mentioned that we were going to go into Terence Scroggins. Well, I made a decision that even though Terence Scroggins is extremely important, I feel that Terence is a diversion to the more important issues. Does that make sense? Example, if they reel me up into insane amounts of trauma with Terence Scroggins, then they know that I'm going to talk about the situation where I was arrested and there's question whether or not, and blah, blah, blah. And that's what they want. They want that diversion. That's not as important as the why was Terence Scroggins paid off to hunt and stalk me with Dincy. And that, who's the guy flipping the bill? Well, we know Ronald B. Perelman, my father, is one of them. And we know that all the things that were being done to me in his office, his police officers were showing up. And we know that Ronald B. Perelman was sitting there witnessing me being attacked and didn't think that was wrong. Okay? So, these are all cover-ups to the bigger issues of the guy that's going to keep paying off people to hunt me down. Right? Saying you don't talk or we kill you. Right? Yeah. And so we're still going to talk about Terence Scroggins, but I felt that this is first. Because I haven't been in my father's office in like over 3 years, and they're still hunting me over. They're hunting me over firing me, if you get the idea. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so the subliminal tactics of Ricardo Garcia. Now remember, they use names as hinting messages. like Shayna's calling herself Shauna, it hints about Shauna in my father's office. Troy Barnwell. Well, that's a little interesting because this Richard here is a defense attorney, and who was it that I hired before Seymour? It was Richard Barnwell from the Cochran firm. Another coincidence. I mean, kind of, sort of coincidence. And you would never look for him unless you were in tune with the subliminal stalking tactics. Shayna on the messages keeps saying bye-bye, which starts from Detective Angela Stewart, basically threatening my life. You don't talk, and we're going to rid you of the world. Contacting all attorneys and defense attorneys, don't help Kevin Perelman. Okay, so defense attorneys are all contacted, help hunt down Kevin Perelman, don't give him a defense, as you witnessed. And here we have an appeals date coming up on the 11th. Yeah. And things are ramping up, and we have the Detective Angela Stewart dress and defense attorneys calling me, threatening me in suggestive ways while pretending like, can you help us? Okay, so let me just redo this. Okay, I believe Ricardo contacting me to hint about me speaking out about Richard Barnwell from the Cochran firm stealing my money while trying to lock me away. Same thing you've seen pretty much from Seymour. Refusing, and you're going to hear this, refusing, like Seymour, to listen to the full story, my side of the story. And the anger directed at me for giving him my money to try to get help while taking it. And then the lie saying things like he supposedly represented 60 murder trials. Yeah, do you know how he must be like 500 years old? I mean, okay, so anyways.
And you have that recording? Are you going to play it?
I'm going to play it, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm also going to play the Shayna recording. Okay, previous email from Asia, which I showed you last time, with the Golden State employee list and to me and everyone else associated with my father, hinting about Richard Barnwell. And when Richard Barnwell hired me, he was hinting about people in my father's office, hinting that I supposedly did something to them. Right? Okay, so don't you think it's a little interesting that all these things suggestively are being hinted about? Should I get confessions from them? Or guilt me to death? Linking back to hints about my father's office, links to Shauna, links to defense attorneys, links to defense attorney Richard Barnwell. Now remember, this is all subliminal, nothing's directly said, and they're going to say that I'm a paranoid schizo for reading into things.
But like you said, you wouldn't pick up on it
unless you are tuned to daily things that keep happening that aren't coincidences, just like this, year after year after year. The definition of gang stalking. Okay, so, and then the more aggressive guys, like threatening my life, with the guy that followed me to El Taco, which is on video, or El Pollo Loco. Yeah, and the guy spitting on me and all these things. Yeah, two guys. Well, one on my car, one on me. Okay. So let's see. I think, Ricardo's middle name is also Daniel. Interesting enough, that's my brother's middle name.
You're which one?
Jason, Florida. Hints about the office. Okay, so their office is Troy Barnwell. Okay, so, yeah, Shayna called herself Shauna. I put after my father paying off Shauna. That's in the gray. He pays her to do Golden State things, and Golden State things are to hunt down and basically rid of the son of the world. Okay, list of the people from his office. Yeah, suggestive death threats. I had better not talk. 3 texts from. Okay, this is where things get interesting. Shayna here wants to talk to me so badly. Now, Shayna is supposedly the investigator for the defense attorney. She texts me from three different phone numbers. Right? Okay, so I doubt you can see this in the camera, but these texts, who she typed Shauna, and then on the legit papers Shaina, changing her name. 3 separate phone numbers, different phone numbers. Why is she texting me from different phone numbers? Interesting. 1 letter in the mail, and 1 letter in front of my front gate where I walk in to my complex. That's 5 attempts in desperation to contact me, showing that she wants to contact me, and it's extremely important. But when she contacts me, she's exerting the same "I hate your guts, I want you dead" behaviors with the cryptic provoking messages, bye-bye, and this and that.
She said she's trying to get evidence against
I'll play the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, she also states that this case has nothing to do with me.
Right.
And all I'm allowed to give her is basically a yes or no, did I contact this person? Or did I complain about this person?
Right.
Okay, so other than that, we have the California Bar Association information right here for Ricardo Garcia, Daniel Garcia.
That's the public defender?
Yeah,
Okay.
the California Bar, this is
Yeah.
anything, this is his
Their
entire life right here.
license,
Yeah, his license. Okay, so, and then once again, the other letter, which is pretty much the same, Ricardo D. Garcia, in the same exact, blah, 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 Kevin, we're looking for you.
Okay.
Looks like love you for Shayna here. Who is clearly linked with Detective Angela Stewart.
They're trying very hard to.
So if you want to get a hold of someone that bad to get information, why would you treat them like shit? Right, unless you had motives to do something to them. Okay, so and technically you could say that's the 3s and 2s tactic too. Like you hear people honk cars, horns, and 2s and 3s. 3 texts with different numbers and 2 mails. Okay, so let's play that conversation with Shayna.
Okay.
Um,
So this is something that you filed, but you didn't file against Cole Lewis.
Did what?
She said she's not going to give rise to the complaint you filed against him, but you didn't.
I've never filed. That was my point. I never. That's why it's
weird.
weird, right?
And the spelling. That's really weird. She spelled her.
This is Shauna.
Hi, Shauna. Kevin Perelman.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm good. Thanks for getting in touch with me. I appreciate it.
I'm trying to figure out. I don't know who Cole, whatever. I don't know who that is. I know that I filed a report. I filed endless internal affairs and FBI reports, but for 100 police officers and years of video of mass stalkings with them. But a couple months back, I filed a report in regards to an Officer Lee stating that he would not help me while being attacked by a guy they paid off pretty much to attack me. But, yeah, so...
The name of Cole Lewison doesn't sound familiar to you?
No, but he could have been Lee's partner for all I know, because I didn't get the name of his partner. So I would have to sort of understand the details of the situation to confirm or deny or tell you what it is what you need to know.
Unfortunately, that's the problem with this.
Uh-huh.
So how I obtained your name and contact information is from a pitches motion. What
Okay.
that is so we represent an individual by the name of Troy Barnes.
Okay.
Mr. Barnes' attorney, who's the attorney that I'm working with,
Uh-huh.
filed a motion with the court to see if there's been any type of misconduct that was done on by the officers involved in Mr. Barnes' case. So the officer involved in Mr. Barnes' case was Cole Lewison with the serial number 43136.
But you don't know who his partner was?
So his partner was Officer Leggy, L-E-G-E. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Leggy. I don't know if
Yeah.
that could have been, I called him Officer Lee because that's what it sounded like. I probably have the paperwork, and I can look up his,
Oh, I'm sorry, not L, V-E-G-E, Veggie.
Veggie, that sounds a little.
V-E-G-E.
I'll tell you what, I'll look up the police officer that I talked to around the same time frame as, this was like probably 2 months ago. And
So honestly, I don't even know when. So let me finish really quick.
Okay.
So once the motion is filed with the court releases names and contact information of individuals who have filed complaints against this specific officer, Officer Cole Lewison. They do not provide us with a date. They do not provide us with the time frame. They do not provide us with what the complaint was regarding.
Okay.
So I can't provide, unfortunately, I can't provide you
Okay.
any of that, when the complaint was filed, what the reason the complaint was, or even what became of the complaint, what became of the internal affairs investigation and the outcome of it. So this could have been based on a complaint that was filed 5 years ago. It could have been 5 years
really?
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta understand that, like, for years, every week, I've been uploading to Internal Affairs mass attacks, working with Lead Officer Sean Dincey's neighborhood mobbing kill / neighborhood watch groups, to Internal Affairs, and every false arrest or every harassment with paper.
Just a side note, that I didn't pick up on this at the time, but it sounds like, and I can't tell you for sure, that she's hinting about something about 5 years ago, maybe. She says
I
like,
can't tell you.
she says like, this could go back 5 years, which doesn't say it does.
Right.
And so the first thing that I thought about was after I had called policeabuse.com to come out.
Yeah.
Policeabuse.com witnessed me, and probably has video, me at a Starbucks in Woodland Hills.
Oh my god, I thought that was a bee.
Brittany and
Sorry.
her bug.
I know. I'm sorry.
Bug issue. Okay, so Woodland Hills Starbucks on Ventura Boulevard and Shoup. I spent a lot of time with policeabuse.com and investigator Greg Miller, and we went around the entire U.S. And we also went from place to place in Woodland Hills, proving that every place I went in, used counter surveillancing, me being attacked with these passive-aggressive terror operations. Not only that, but Greg Miller, working for Don Jackson or Kamau Diop of policeabuse.com, ex-LAPD police sergeant, witnessed us going into a Starbucks, sitting there for about 15 minutes, not saying a word to anyone, groups of people coming and attacking me with the psychological warfare tactics, then a police officer coming in for no reason, saying they don't want me there.
Really?
Huh?
You witnessed that too?
Yeah, and then he went up to the police officer, and the police officer basically told them that they don't want me at any Starbucks in the world.
For no reason? What did
They didn't
say?
have a reason. So that's discrimination. But not only that, God, I just lost my train of thought. Very important. Our last dialogue at Planet Sushi, I said that Starbucks has told me that they don't want me at any location in the world. And I need to clarify that. This is very important. Starbucks has never told me they don't want me at any location in the world. I've never directly heard that from Starbucks.
Right.
I've heard that from the LAPD. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just that one.
Correct? No Starbucks employee has walked up to me saying you're not allowed at a Starbucks worldwide,
No.
and you wouldn't take an employee seriously. You'd only take someone at corporate seriously.
It was only that one Starbucks who brought that letter out or something.
No, but that wasn't for every Starbucks in the world.
That's
That
what
was
I'm
one
saying.
location.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was
Right.
just that specific.
Of course, I was being attacked 10 years prior at every Starbucks and every other place worldwide. My point is, when you're talking about what do you call it? Misdirection or curving the issue or diverting the issue, no one with any official Starbucks authority has stated, Kevin Perelman, you're not allowed at Starbucks.
Right.
Sean Dinsey broke onto my property and hopped my fence before getting fired. I don't think he's LAPD anymore.
Really?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. You haven't seen
And
that.
by the way, you kind of noticed the stripers.
Oh,
Okay.
Have you not seen him around? Or?
No, once in a blue moon he posts on the internet, but it's very, and it states that he's no longer LAPD officer when he was running for city council. So that's interesting too, right?
What happened with that? Do you know? If you want.
Well, I think I told you the last time. It says that someone was elected in January 2019. So
It doesn't say who though.
nobody. Dinsey states on his Facebook that they were voting the 4th of last month or something.
Right.
So if someone was elected 4 months ago,
That's weird.
right, you see the disinformation. Okay, so anyways, my point is that if Dinsey's breaking onto my property, and you've seen Dinsey try to break in my house, and you've seen 3 other police LAPD attempts to try to break in my house and plant things on me, like they tried with Roddy Morales at 29, the trash bag full of marijuana,
Right.
to try to make me look like a drug dealer, you get the idea that it's highly unlikely that a letter coming from Starbucks Corporation is handed to LAPD guy who is fired, jumps over the fence, and after trying to break in your house and then puts it on your welcome mat. Whether the letter's officially from Starbucks or not, it was never given to me
Right.
from a Starbucks corporate person, therefore it can't really be taken seriously.
Well, that's even what Seymour said. He didn't know if it was real or not.
Yeah, but at the same time, he didn't want to sort of help me and be on my side, you know.
But yeah, there's
Yeah. And also, I want you to look this way. Okay, so you see the groupings of red cars there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's most likely not coincidence, especially because today and yesterday, leaving my house, the Metro complex had huge groups coming out with red cars parked around my car, and people coming out at the same time with red shirts before these mass attacks, which I got on video with the man tactics. And same today, I walked out of my house, I videoed my street, everything looks normal, and within a couple of minutes, red cars all came out. A lady in a red car pulled up and parked next to another red car in front of my car. Okay, so these groupings of reds, even though it looks random, are actually strategic by design to try to provoke and trigger and make someone look like a violent paranoid schizo.
Like the yellow last week.
What?
Like the yellow last week.
Yeah, so you see how the groupings change and then they go back. Like you saw one horizontal stripe lady here walk in, but there might be 15 more come in a few minutes. And if you see 15 more coming in a few minutes, it's not random, it's strategic by design, and it's directed at someone. And we all know who that someone is, right? Because it's worldwide directed at me. And then like you saw at Noah's Bagels by the other Starbucks, the groupings, 15 or 20 people in all black coming at the same time, then the pink shirts and the blue jeans coming at the same time, all on video, and you witnessing it. And so you get the idea that these are kill operations based on collapsing someone's brain. Okay, so let's continue with, we got a little sidetracked.
So I don't know, I lose track, right?
Is that loud?
So about
It is a little loud.
is there any way to estimate the number of complaints that you filed against LAPD officers?
They're well, not specifically, maybe 5, but the incidences associated with them, hundreds and hundreds of emails and videos uploaded to internal affairs.
When you say uploaded, how do you upload it to their
I am a target of the police and government because of what they've done to my life. So I have to walk around with a stupid camera videoing the all day and night attacks to lock me away and incarcerate me for life. Some of the judicial system's threats and death threats to me getting people on video threatening my life over and over that I had better not talk or they'll kill me and things like this.
And how do you upload it to there? How does that work?
Well, I just send an email through like Gmail or my email account. But
So you email
but
it
they
to-
all correct. But they go on
Okay.
YouTube's and they go on KevinPerelmanTarget.com.
Okay, so the first thing I just want to throw in a quick intuitive thing. She seems really concerned about the
Well, yeah.
video being uploaded.
Why was she asking about that?
Exactly. Why does she sound so concerned that proof of a mass crime against me is leaving
It just has,
my possession and going to others?
It just has nothing to do with what she was asking about.
Correct. So that's my point is,
Yeah.
when you deal with these types of people over and over, you really learn to read between the lines. And she seems not overly concerned, but a little concerned like, oh shit, you mean other people are getting your data?
Yeah.
Right? You're not some crazy guy hoarding it. It's going out to the world.
Yeah. And it doesn't have anything to do with the religion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I'm literally being hunted by these mass, what they call neighborhood watch groups, which aren't neighborhood watch groups, they're neighborhood stalking, police stalking groups of those they don't like, or those they label as crazy or mentally ill. And I'm forced to document the daily, all day and night attacks. And so I eventually, a couple of years ago, started calling the FBI and contacting internal affairs every time something I'm harassed by police officers lying in my face, going, I don't know you, and we're going to rid you of the world, right? And so, you name it. I got pretty much death threats by police officers on video. I have death threats, people working with them. I have endless psychological warfare attacks. I have endless physical attacks, which they are writing false police reports and arresting me to cover up what they're paying off people to do to me. And just on that note, I don't know. You said I was involved with this Troy Barnes. I don't know it.
No, you are not involved.
Oh,
with
okay.
Farm. No,
Okay, good.
No, I never said that.
Okay.
Your name was provided to me because I'm working on Troy Barnes' case, and since I'm working on his case and a fictitious motion was
Yeah, I got
that's
that,
how
yeah.
your name was provided to me. So no,
Am I allowed to ask if well, he's Van Nuys Court because I looked up the record, but is it through Topanga Division?
So Officer Lewison works for the Van Nuys Division.
Oh, Van Nuys. I was going to give you a quick tip. Officer Lee was wearing his body cam when he lied to me and told me he's not obligated to help me. And not only that, when the perp that attacked me walked by, Officer Lee chose to not question him or do a damn thing while trying to make me look crazy and belittling me. And that's all. Not only is that recorded on my side, but it's recorded on the police Topanga Division body cam. So I don't know if you can use that or not.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Officer Lee. He has no association to my case at all. So.
Okay, so then I don't. If he's
So the
not
name Cole Lewison, that doesn't sound familiar to you or anything like that.
the names. A lot of them I don't know their names. Like example, one called himself Officer Toro, which wasn't his real name. Said if I ever take a picture of a person, he'll exercise the law in his own way. There's also Officer Jensen, who arrested me on misdemeanor charges for sitting on the sidewalk and then trying to say I assault and battery, or tried to batter people by throwing cards at them, making up those lies, even though that's not possible. There's Officer Sean Dinsey, the world seems to know, who's been heading the last 6 years of hunting me down, trying to have me killed. Who else? Jensen, Dinsey, Fake Toro, Lee. I don't know who was with Lee. I don't know who all these partners are with them. Right? Does that make sense? So just because so this police officer gives me his badge number, I don't know who the guy is standing next to him.
Got it. No, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can't recall any Cole.
Oh, and the multiple break-in attempts.
What Lewison, except for the first thing that comes to my head is the movie Days of Thunder and Cole Trickles. But that's pretty much it. I can't. Yeah.
All right. Well, no worries. Yeah, I don't know anything about Officer Lee. He has no association to my case at all. So.
Okay. So then I don't. If he's
So the
not
name Cole Lewison, that doesn't sound familiar to you or anything like that.
the names. a lot of them I don't know their names. Like example, one called himself Officer Toro, which wasn't his real name, said if I ever take a picture of a person, he'll exercise the law in his own way. There's also Officer Jensen, who arrested me on misdemeanor charges for sitting on the sidewalk and then trying to say I assaulted and battery, or tried to batter people by throwing cards at them, making up those lies, even though that's not possible. There's Officer Sean Dinsey, the world seems to know, who's been heading the last 6 years of hunting me down, trying to have me killed. Who else? Jensen, Dinsey, Fake Toro, Lee. I don't know who was with Lee. I don't know who all these partners are with them. Right? Does that make sense? So just because so this police officer gives me his badge number, I don't know who the guy is standing next to him.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can't recall any Cole Lewison, except for the first thing that comes to my head is the movie Days of Thunder and Cole Trickle. But that's pretty much it. I can't. Yeah.
All right. Well, no worries. Well, I appreciate your time and you getting in touch with me.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. I wish you all the best.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so a couple things.
I have a question too.
Okay. First, she says no worries, and I'm not saying people don't say no worries, but one of the tactics is after I said no worries to someone, a Starbucks employee, they got really mad, just like them getting mad at saying how's it going or hi, how are you, or things that don't make any sense.
Right.
They got really mad for saying no worries, and then mass groups were following around saying no worries over and over. Now, I haven't heard that in a while, and people do say no worries, but most likely the reason she said no worries was a Kevin mimic. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then she proceeds by saying bye-bye. About an hour ago, someone else said bye-bye. Every lawyer I talked to after the Detective Angela Stewart arrested me for calling them. I was the one that called them.
Right.
Then they arrested me, turning it around. First thing she says is bye-bye. After they arrest me, every single attorney in the thousands and paralegals all said bye-bye, 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 letting me know cryptically we're all working together. Okay? So now, once again, a defense attorney who wants my help, who really seems like she's digging for information because she's worried, because the defense attorneys were all contacted, saying bye-bye with a little Topanga LAPD death threat. Just sort of. Then we have the 3 different separate number emails or texts with the same thing, and the things that don't make any sense, right? She's trying to spook me or scare me or guilt me into some, like I'm trying to guilt you into a confession, or right? So they sound scared of something.
It's just, yeah, it's very hot.
Yeah. So okay, so you got a phone.
Well, can you look up the reports you made previously against
The what?
The police reports you made? Can you look up?
Well, no, because they're phone calls to internal affairs.
Okay, they don't document it.
No, I mean I have a stack of emails, but I don't.
I just
They're
didn't
not
know.
giving me names. I'm calling them, saying this person and this ID.
I just
So,
didn't know if they have to keep them on file or something.
well, they probably do. The only thing I have is they open an investigation and they eventually closed it, which
I know.
you read the letter on one of our things showing they're full of shit, right?
What did they say? Unfounded or something?
Yeah, I mean they just lie. I mean it's all been proven on both on my side, and they already know what's going on, and they just don't want to deal with it. And so it's like I said, all they have to do is go grab Detective Lee's cam.
Yeah.
There's no dispute. It's on camera.
I saw that too. Right? Because you had.
Well, not his. You saw my version.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, they have no excuse. Kevin, we can't use this because it's blah blah blah. They can make up some lie.
But you can use the police.
But okay, fine. Go down to Topanga Division and demand the video of that date.
You can do that, right?
They can do it. They're
That's
internal
you.
affairs.
Okay.
I can't do it.
No, but I mean, like, because they've used that in court and stuff, the police archives, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, what happens is all those things get archived. I don't think they can just erase them.
Right.
And if someone's arrested, there's certain procedures that maybe they can use it, maybe they can't. The prosecutor's obviously going to go through it, see if they can get anything. But what if the prosecutor sees something on it that supports the defense?
Right.
She's not going to want to use it.
Right.
She's not even going to go past pretrial. She's going to say throw it out.
Yeah.
She don't want to look bad, okay? Or he or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
But the point is internal affairs.
Do whatever.
can do whatever. Their job is to make sure that everything's kosher.
Right.
Okay? I have a complaint, I have an officer, I have a badge number, I have an incident, he has video, I have video, I email him the videos of the situations. They can check it out. We couldn't find anything. Yeah, okay, sure. You couldn't find anything with my video or his video? I mean, you might as well grab a video of someone chopping off some of my limbs with a machete and say I don't see anything. Right?
There was definitely evidence.
Yeah, okay, so that, you can see she has something to hide.
It's just very weird that she wanted to know all that stuff. I had nothing to do with
Yeah. Now let me sort of give we're going to go through the Barnwell.
Hi, Shawnee, Kevin Perelman.
it. That's
Hi, how are you?
We're going to go quickly through the Richard Barnwell,
This is
the
the
first attorney, and then I fired him and went to Seymour Amster.
okay.
Every one of them told a defense attorney or prosecutor or any type of attorney
Yeah.
worldwide saying don't help Kevin Perelman for any reason, whether it's civil suits, whether it's defense, you name it, don't help him. Now the first question you probably think is why?
Right.
It's got to be about something. What did Kevin do to a lawyer? Correct. Now, I don't want to go too far into this, but common sense is going to say if every lawyer in the world wants Kevin Perelman dead, then obviously I've been accused of doing something to a lawyer, right?
Something, because it doesn't make any sense.
Correct. Okay, so, I was just kind of going to be all black. The girl walked all black, but it's just one of them. Okay, so, let's break this down. I don't want to waste too much time. I've only known 2 lawyer-ish people in my life. I don't hang around lawyers. I don't have many lawyer friends. 2 people. Supposedly Tom Farley, who we've talked a little about.
He's a lawyer?
He went to law school. Okay, Tom Farley, 8th grade. I'm told to start working on you, doing things with Tracy Picos to try to make me mentally ill. After Christy Reynolds in the 8th grade, Miss Vaughn's English class, worked on me my entire life. I lost maybe 25 years stalking and hunting and sabotaging, following me on the internet to colleges and working with mass group, you name it. This is my good friend, Tom Farley. This is the guy that's been around the longest. Okay?
Go ahead, I don't want to get sidetracked.
Now, he supposedly went to an unaccredited law school, and I don't think he ever passed the bar, but truth be told, Tom turned out to be a lying snake and a piece of shit, and 80% of probably the things he's told me probably aren't true. I'm working with the police to remove me from society, and the law school he went to supposedly was right behind Canoga, Oxnard and Canoga, where the Starbucks is. You know where that is?
Yeah.
Right behind there, supposedly, he says there was a law school. I don't think there's a school. I see a business building. What the hell would be a law school over there?
There's something in there, but I haven't seen a law school.
Okay, so I can't tell you whether he actually did go to an unaccredited law school or not.
Can you look it up?
I wouldn't know the name of it. I would have to walk down and go, is there a law school around here? And generally, if you're going to a law school, there's going to be several, it's going to be fairly large with classrooms, right?
Can you look it up like you did for this guy? His license?
Well, he doesn't have a license.
Okay. Okay.
He kept, before I broke contact, he couldn't pass the bar. And I'm like, gee, I wonder why. You're a fucking low-life piece of trash criminal. Okay, so,
How long, when did you figure out that he wasn't like your friend after 25 years? Because that's all.
It went through several stages of something's wrong, and then him wanting to move into my house, and me, because his father had kicked him out of the house, and supposedly he was a speed addict. Supposedly he got arrested for being on speed and drunk on 2 hit and runs, and they put him in a halfway house or whatever, and then he got out and he said, my family kicked me out and blah blah blah, and so I gave him a place to live, and it turned out while he was living with me, he was working with the police and trying to set me up and do all these freaky things, and I was figuring it out at that point, and then tracing it back from his behaviors. My father was giving him fake medication for vertigo. One of their accusations is because I still use the name a lot. One of my screen names from the mid-90s is Vertigo262. It started as Vertigo, and then you know how it works with screen names.
Yeah.
So they're mad at me. Not only every screen name, every computer name, every server name, every car I've driven, every piece of clothing I've worn, every shoes I've worn, every hat I've worn, but they're mad at me because my screen name is Vertigo262, trying to say that because my screen name is Vertigo262, I'm trying to make people mentally ill and cause vertigo. That's just one of these thousands and thousands of accusations.
Right.
So what my father does is he gives Tom Farley some fake meds with a label for vertigo, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, Tom develops, I have vertigo one night where the cops were following me and this and that, trying to scare me into confession.
Okay.
Right, and you start picking up on these things in their behaviors and what they're doing because it's repetitive. He's also going to law school, supposedly, in between. I highly doubt he ever even had any hit and runs or was supposed to go to court or halfway. Ironically, he went down to Pasadena where Cream T. Phillips just happened to come from. All connected, hinting event. Okay, so anyways, what were we originally talking about?
You were going to play that video from the lawyer.
Oh, okay, so the two the connections to lawyers, from Kevin to lawyers. Actually, three. There is Tom Farley, really good friend, but I'm a horrible monster and need to die. I've supposedly done all these horrible things that don't exist. Supposedly went to law school, and then lawyers all want me dead or what. We also have Micheal Bialys, sent after me by Brian Longbottom, who was working on me with Universal Studios and Modern Video Film, try to set me up, frame me, make me look crazy. I knew for, I think, 15 years or something. Maybe it was 8 years, I'm not sure. Working on me the entire time. Who introduced me to a intern forensics accountant, Micheal Bialys, who did the Rudy the Rubber show that I guess he's ashamed of, who's saying it's my show or whatever. And I rebuilt their website and this and that for them for free because we were friends and this and that. Had some common interests. And then at the end, when I said, you know, I can't invest any more time in turning Rudy into an animated character and not getting paid. And then at this point, he got pissed and started treating me like shit. After maybe 3 or 4 years of friendship, by the way, his girlfriend at the time was Victoria Walker, the 187s on the car, working with the police. He is a defense attorney. Defense attorney too.
What was his name?
Micheal Bialys. No, ironically, he looks very close to Tom Petty and was working on these freaky double, what do you call them? Like body type double tactics, these freaky twin tactics.
Lookalikes.
Yeah,
Okay.
lookalikes. So Bialys is a defense attorney. You see things that people want to hide and lock me away for, right? Victoria Walker was sitting there basically saying that I supposedly killed someone and having people thug me and beat me up and writing 187 on my car, and then wanted me to go visit her on Donegal 187, her address out in Newbury Park here. Interesting. You see the resources involved? Okay. Defense attorney. Okay, and then there's the third, my father's friend, Ryan Golds. Now, what he did with Ryan Golds was, for some reason, Ryan Golds was pissed off at me, some next person I never really knew. And my father bought a house in Victorville, just like Victoria Walker, and by a lake house. And he said, Kevin, come to the lake house with us. And then he went in halfway with Ryan Golds, the lawyer. And Ryan and his entire family were thugging and bullying and terrorizing me. And once I figured out how my father works, what he does is he tries to guilt you to death without saying anything directly, like all these things we're seeing.
Right.
And the reason he was using Ryan Golds, by the way, when Seymour called me a bully, that had to come from somewhere. And where it was coming from was Brian Weaver bullying Ryan Hirsch in 8th grade for 15 minutes and then them telling the principal that it was me.
Right.
So my father, coming after me like 20 years later with these insane resources, going, my son's the bad seed, and Ryan Golds, the attorney, with his family, working on me, well, taking me up to the lake house and trying to sort of lock me into a situation where they torture me to death, right? So those are the only connections to lawyers I've ever had, yet the entire law industry, whatever, law people want me dead and gone. Doesn't make any sense like everything else, but you can trace the information to who and where it's coming from. Okay?
Yeah.
And then, of course, my father was friends with David Greenstein. By the way, when we're talking about credibility, my father had a friend he kept around, David Greenstein, a lawyer that went into restaurants with service animals to set people up and sue them. And this is who my father was hanging out with. And eventually, he screwed over Ryan Goals and got disbarred, and supposedly lives in like Mexico or something. And my father was good friends with this guy and had the guy doing all his dirty work for him, like his paperwork and all his freaky shit. You see something interesting going on with Mr. Goody Two Shoes. Surrounds himself with people that set people up and sue them for a living.
Right.
Okay.
That's lawyer number 4 too.
That's 4. But I had zero contact with David Greenstein. Okay, so back to now let's listen to Richard Barnwell, who, no matter how much money they took from me, refused to be honest and help me, which is unheard of.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I want you to most importantly remember how. Come on. Oh.
What is this lawyer's name?
Richard Barnwell from the Johnny Cochran firm. Oh, it's a video, that's what. Now, most important, listen to the tone and how I'm treated. Because I don't care whether you're a lawyer or anyone else, you don't treat your client this way, especially ones that give you this much money. Whatever. Okay, so we're going to try to play a video, but hear the audio, but there's not much to watch.
Okay.
Hello.
You don't know what a protective order is? No. Okay. Stop doing what you're doing. That's what they're going to say. And if you continue...
Oh, you emailed me. You said they're going to serve me a protective... Is that a restraining order?
It's a protective order.
I don't know. I'm asking you. I don't...
Okay, so they... during these arrests, Terrence Scroggins and Bailey Bernard, they issued me temporary restraining orders, which turned into full against me. Yeah, crying wolf, saying, "Oh, poor us, Kevin's, we're in danger. The guy's hunting me down." Yeah, or saying, "Oh, poor us." Now, at the time, I told Richard, "Who's it from?" Because I was so confused. Within the arrest time, there was probably 15 attack-ish situations, people shouting and yelling. You don't know where anything's coming from. You don't know if it's from Terrence, if it's from the next 10 guys following you from place to place. All these things the lawyers are working against me, but...
Terrence and who got a temporary restraining?
Bailey Bernard. Okay, yeah, crying wolf, because they want to establish a fake pattern that I'm doing all these horrible things. Okay, so, but most important, listen to his tone, how he's treating me. And remember, keep in mind, Seymour's tone. The pure anger directed at me.
Protect me, or...
It was not the first. No, Kevin, no.
Wow.
Yeah, already, right? Trying to sort of...
Oh,
What's going on, Kevin?
oh, the phone was freaking out. There's all this static.
Yeah, what's going on, bro? What's up?
Oh, you emailed me. You said they're going to serve me a protective... Is that a restraining order?
It's a protective order.
I don't know. I'm asking you. I don't... What does that mean?
I just told you what it is. It's a protective order.
To protect me, or...
It's not the first. No, Kevin, no. They don't. They're not concerned about you. They're concerned about the public. They don't tell you to stop being a nuisance. And if you
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
Whoa. Okay, listen to his wording.
He's so rude.
There's a protective order. First, you won't tell me, like Seymour, he's being everything vague, so you don't know what the hell's going on.
You're not a lawyer. You don't know what a protective
Yeah,
order is.
and he's angry when I ask questions, just like Seymour. But actually, Richard was a lot angrier because they didn't want me having any truthful or honest information. They didn't want me being able to defend myself. But once again, just like Seymour, it's a protective order to keep the city safe. What do you mean keep the city safe? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, right.
I couldn't hear it. I heard a nuisance.
Concerned about the public. They don't tell you.
There's no such thing as a protective order for the public.
No.
We have city council. City council doesn't want, not in my area, blah, 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 so they voted to kill Kevin Perelman.
Right.
No such thing. Okay? It's a protective order against the public. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
All these things are the same. They don't make sense. Right?
I don't even know what that is.
That's how these things start. You're sitting there, I'm going to start a company. The world has claimed you're a danger to them. Well, how did the world claim I'm a danger to them? I don't know the world.
Right.
They don't make sense. They're government eradication operations. Okay? So listen to how he's trying to spin things.
So I'm asking you, why can't you just say
Stop. I just told you, it's a protective
in
order for
layman's
you to
terms?
stop them.
Okay.
You don't know what a protective order is?
No.
Okay. Stop doing what you're doing. That's what they're going to say. And if you continue to do it, they're going to continue to file charges on you. That's what they're going to say. That's all they're going to hand you is be really quick, 2 seconds, in and out.
So it's not a plea or anything, it's just they want to see me and say, stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah, but
Okay, but wait, that doesn't make sense. A protective order is against a person.
Right.
Terrence Scroggins. Terrence Scroggins. Okay, this is how it works. Terrence Scroggins, or me, now remember, I wasn't allowed, no matter how many people attacked me, they refused to allow me to get a protective order, no matter how much proof I had, against a person.
Right.
Terrence Scroggins makes up a lie. Oh, poor me, oh, poor me.
What do you say?
I'm in danger of Kevin. That's a protective order. There's nothing to do with cities or groups or planets,
No.
okay? So, but listen to his wording, how it's vague, and I don't want to tell
He's
you.
like, you don't know what a protective order
Yeah.
is? No.
If you date that girl, then we're going to give you a protective order. If you drink coffee, we're going to give you a protective order. If you buy a Ferrari, we're going to give you a protective order. That's why he's keeping things vague.
Right.
Because you do what we say or we kill you.
you're going to walk into court. You're going to pick another court date. They're going to hand you a protective order, and you're going to walk out. That's all that's going to happen.
Okay, why can't you answer that without getting angry so that I know?
Why don't you just say okay? Say okay.
Because I don't understand, and when I try to ask you questions, you go ballistic on me, and then I get offensive, because my lawyer isn't supposed to spaz out on me over and over. He's supposed to say, I'm on your side, I'm going to explain shit to you, I'm going to look at the big picture of these fucking assholes stalking me. Do you fucking understand? So stop putting me in a corner and fucking be on my side.
I'll see tomorrow, Kevin.
Okay.
What did he say?
I told you, it's a protective
In
order for
layman's
you to
terms.
stop them.
Okay.
See, but, okay, first, notice how he keeps accusing me of things?
Yeah.
He won't defend me.
He won't even listen.
I walk in, this is what's going on. I don't want to hear it. Just like Seymour. I don't want to hear the story. I don't want to hear the big picture.
Right.
That's his job.
It doesn't make sense. I'm just reading about it.
I'm trying to...
2 seconds, in and out.
So it's not a plea or anything, it's just they want to see me and say, stop doing what you're doing.
Kevin, they're going to do it exactly as I told you. You're going to walk into court. You're going to pick another court date. They're going to hand you a protective order, and you're going to walk out. That's all that's going to happen.
Okay, why can't you answer that without getting angry so that I know?
Why don't you just say okay? Say okay.
Because I don't understand, and when I try to ask you questions, you go ballistic on me, and then I get offensive, because my lawyer isn't supposed to spaz out on me over and over. He's supposed to say, I'm on your side, I'm going to explain shit to you, I'm going to look at the big picture of these fucking assholes stalking me. Do you fucking understand? So stop putting me in a corner and fucking be on my side.
I'll see you tomorrow, Kevin.
Okay.
I can't hear it. I don't think it's important.
Okay. Is that
Let's see. I think that was one phone call.
very
One actually is. Okay. So I just sent you an email. So I know now who these people are that filed the restraining order, and they are.
So you notice I'm totally like disoriented. Like out of the 100 people per day attacking me, who filed the restraining order?
Yeah. Protective order.
But there's nothing in his mind in it saying there's worldwide mobs trying to kill you.
Right.
I'm not gonna say anything about it. You're a bad guy.
Did he ever tell you like who was filing
He just did right there.
it? Oh, okay.
And then calling the cops.
Didn't he?
One actually assaulted me, followed me home.
Oh no, he didn't.
And what? One actually assaulted me. He assaulted me. He followed me home. He got on my property in front of the gate, saying you can't go in your place, and now I know where you live, which is, I guess, the second case. All the things my defending lawyer should know. So you know that I'm innocent, and they're working with the LAPD to try to set me up over and over. But this is all relevant information.
Look, I'm going to stall right now, so you hear a bunch of background music. That's what's going on. So that's relevant. Okay, that's relevant to what?
Well, I'm an attorney that's on my side defending me, right? I mean, shouldn't you know what's going on as far as?
No, I should know, but you're throwing down legal terms, so.
I mean, you hear this guy, right? He's skating like that, he's skating this way, he's skating that way, he's avoiding. I'm not going to help you.
What you just said, what was it relevant? As far as this case is concerned, and one thing you got to remember, Kevin, this case is not about you and your fight. This case is about.
Okay, that's important. The case is not about me and my plight. What does that mean? My plight? I turned 29. There's a worldwide campaign to kill me. They refuse to help me, no matter how many times I call the police lawyers. I was calling civil lawyers years before the arrest. We won't help you. My plight. What's my plight? Breathing? My horrible plight of breathing. How dare I? Right? Now remember, Richard Barnwell's black, and there's a whole thing with the black community. Yeah. I mean, he's from the Johnny Cochran firm, so. But there's a whole thing with you kissed a black girl at 8 years old, and so we're going to hunt you down and kill you with the black community and your white supremacist. That part, that one thing going on, it doesn't make sense. But not only that, but when I was, after I hired him, they were hinting about people in my father's office, as if I did something. Do you see the connections? Mm-hmm. Wait, but how do you know the people in my father's office?
Right, that's a good question.
Right? How do all the lawyers know the people in my father's office? And I'll explain how he deals with these types of people for a living later. I don't know if we'll get to it today, hopefully we will. The point is that he's not acting as someone to help me. He's acting as someone's giving him hearsay. He's acting on it, and he won't help me like all the rest, right? And that's highly illegal, by the way. They're not allowed to do that. So he's stopping me from getting help, and she's treating me like complete shit and trying to make it look like I'm the bad guy, saying it's your plight and this and that.
Saying that you did. If you have a defense, that's another.
That's my point. Is first of all, it's not my fight. It's their fight.
No, it's not their fight.
No, listen, Richard, stop saying what isn't and making me look like the bad guy, because that's the problem in the first place, is that my attorney that I hired to defend me needs to understand what's going on.
Operative word is defend. Go ahead.
They won't leave me alone. Do you understand? When you're trying to live your life, and the LAPD is working with private citizens, following you from place to place, all day and night attacking you, and then if you react...
What do you mean attacking?
Well, I've sent you videos, and I can rattle off... Richard, if I can rattle off all day and night events...
I'm asking you, just tell me blunt. When you say attacking...
Okay, so wait, I'm pausing it right now. They all play the same game. The lawyers, the people walk up and talk to me. What is it that these people are doing to you? Well, I cut you off. No, they're blah, 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 and then just keep going. You're this, you're that, you're crazy. Now you're going to hear right here, like everyone else. Kevin, what do you have to say? Now I'm going to cut you off. Okay?
You said tell me one what?
You just said, like you just asked, well, what are they doing?
Okay. You have to stop thinking in a traditional black and white sense that every situation is the same.
You can't answer my question.
Okay, so there you go, right? So now you're on the stand as if I'm prosecuting you instead of me being the client, and I'm not going to listen.
On your censoring
How are they
speech
attacking you? Tell me how they're
They are attacking me in all sorts of ways. They come sometimes they come out and physically attack me. Sometimes it's with mass groups, like I've sent you the videos of.
I've sent him the videos. Oh, but I just don't have time to look at your videos of my case that you spend $15,000 for, right? Okay.
Or 7, okay? The LAPD has all these people running around saying Kevin Perelman's a bad guy and passive-aggressively provoke me, never-ending, to try and get a reaction, okay? Now, in self-defense, you understand? You're my defense attorney. In self-defense, I pass out cards, in defensive, not in self-defense. I react to their attacks by saying, look, you've been told lies. Then they play stupid, saying, you're crazy, you're a paranoid schizo, and you're a nuisance. But nothing I have ever done is the aggressor. It is in self-defense, okay? Hence, why I hired a defense attorney to represent me, saying these people are full of shit, especially the LAPD, because every single time I call the LAPD to try to put a stop to these crimes against me, the LAPD gets mad and then they arrest me, okay? Now, what statement does it make if you are the good guy, you have done nothing wrong, people are coming after you, you keep calling the police get mad at you and they might threaten you or harass you with their little cryptic messages that you better not say anything or it's going to get worse for you. Then eventually they arrest you. You call your defense attorney says, my client's a nuisance and he's a problem and I really don't want to help him. Okay? And this goes on from... Well, that's kind of the way... That's the kind of the way I perceive it when I'm trying to give you the information and each time it's like I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And...
I don't care, Kevin. Believe it or not everything you say is relevant. You personally understand that. Alright?
In a courtroom. That's the part they all leave out. Yeah, it's not relevant in a courtroom, but you still got to understand it. Now you'll notice I didn't get to the point to really tell him specifically because you can't. Because he's so angry and he cuts you off.
Well, you said physical.
I never really explained in detail, but what you need to understand while we're talking on so much on camera is that you can't just look.
To give the background.
I went to get yogurt here and someone hit me. That's what he wants me to say. I can't say that because this situation isn't like that. Okay? No one hit me. 1,000 people showed up in black pants and green shirts, and then another 1,000 people showed up in all red cars, and then another, and you can't explain that from a guy shouting at you that you're a monster and you need to die. And then when you walk up to all of them for the when you call a lawyer, you get a hour consultation. You walk in with the printed out photos, the video, the paperwork. No, I don't want to see this. Maybe I'll see this after you pay me and blah blah blah.
They just want to know.
And then once you pay them, they go, well, I'm not going to look at it because I don't have time. And it's all irrelevant, blah, blah, blah.
What about the things that, like, the dog attack, like, that was something...
Well, they were, at this point, they were less aggressive. They were less physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I think you're having a hard time because, when you walk in that courthouse, you know that there's two separate buildings,
Okay, wait. Now this makes no sense. Now you're trying to make me look crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait, no.
One of the buildings is a criminal case, and the other building is a civil courthouse. A lot of your stuff, you have a lot of civil issues.
No, I have both.
Right?
I have both, yeah.
Okay, but they're both not happening in the same courtroom.
No, I know.
Yeah, wait, there's still, yeah, he's right. But he's my defense attorney, and in order to defend me, he needs to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You see how he's trying to make me look crazy?
And
Yeah.
didn't Seymour say it would be hard to prove a civil case? Or something like that?
Well, he told me, he said there's no way in hell this is ever going to trial, blah, blah, blah. But remember everything that's going on. Okay, first of all, I'm not a lawyer, but I have a slam dunk. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But no lawyer wants to touch it.
Well, that, and it goes against you. Exactly.
Okay.
You just said your stuff's mostly civil, and that's Seymour.
Well, Seymour's story changes every 10 minutes. He said, we have a good case. He starts talking about civil things, which didn't make any sense. And then the next hour, when I talk to him away from you, it's a whole different story. The civil's not connected with the defense. Of course it's not connected with the defense. They're not the same thing. They're totally different animals. But the point is that right now when he's talking, he's just blowing shit out of his ass. He's blowing smoke out of his ass.
That's all you want to say.
Okay? Our conversation here has nothing to do with civil. Yeah, everyone needs to be sued. I'm not denying that. This is about self-defense.
Right.
And in order to fight against self-defense, you have to say things like, Terrence Scroggins claims that Kevin came after him and Kevin's trying to kill him and Kevin's this and Kevin's that. Kevin's Perelman in self-defense is that Terrence Scroggins is working with a neighborhood of people passive-aggressively provoking me until I'm dead and gone or have to defend myself before I die or something really bad happens to me in self-defense, and on a stand explaining it to the jury you have to explain specific facts and show video, proof, and evidence, which I have. That has nothing to do with civil. That is self-defense. There is a man, he's claiming I'm going after him, he's part of a group trying to have me killed.
Right.
Okay? It is beyond any level of relevance to defense, and Richard Barnwell knew this before I ever talked to him on the phone or walked in his office or anything else, because outside of his office down...
Okay.
What happened? Outside of his office in Wilshire, at Starbucks and Coffee Beans, mass groups were attacking me right before my appointment. You don't think he knows what's going on?
I have both, yeah.
Okay, but they're both not happening in the same courtroom.
No, I know that.
Okay.
The thing, but the information I'm giving you isn't...
Call you back and set up a time and we will meet and discuss it. It's not going to be now.
By the way, what is the next court date? Like, what is it? Is it it's the plea?
Today.
Is it a plea?
Pre-trial hearing.
Please stop talking.
This is a video I'm trying to skip.
But I just want a different
I
attorney.
don't disagree with you. If I don't if you and I have our conversation, don't think for 1 second that doesn't think that I think what they're doing to you is bullshit.
I don't know.
Oh, God, that's not...
What just happened? Bear with me because it's already 11:50.
No, and you got to mention you're off the stage. You have a Christian.
Oh.
You have a what?
You're like you have a criminal issue.
Technical errors. No, the Bluetooth thing disconnected. Yeah, you don't want someone like that defending you, okay?
Oh, he made he like has done to you. That's okay. Like, we don't know about this.
None of it's
No,
okay.
not at all.
Every single thing is I won't help you, no matter what. I won't take the time to help you, and I won't take the time
Listen.
to listen to your side of the story. He and all of them are doing the prosecution's job. Does that make sense? And they're doing it intentionally. It's all premeditated. Okay, let's see.
Well, Richard, you keep saying that
that. You just... No, that's why it's told you. It's Kevin. I put out all your emails. I need to see from you. What is the offense? I understand, and Richard, at this point, I just don't feel comfortable, okay? You got paid, so, it shouldn't even be a big deal, but, I just want to... It is a big deal to me. It is a big deal. Why? Because if you're getting fucked with, I don't like that.
Okay, look, I mean, I hope you guys can hear this on camera.
I know, but it's always loud.
He's shifting back and forth. I don't want to help you, now I'm leaving. Well, I'm on your side, and it's a big deal because if you're getting screwed over, but you won't do any, you won't take 1 second to look at what's going on, and he's doing it intentionally, right?
I don't want to see it, it's about a civil. Kevin, last minute. But you should have seen it on day one, okay? I'm thinking of what I'm asking you, and that's right now, this is the problem. This is nothing you've been dealing with. I'm telling you right now, Kevin, there is not one attorney on this planet that will have seen from day one. No one. You're seeing this. This is not last minute.
Okay, so now he's turning the last minute thing around on me. We might have to redo this. I don't know if the sound. What he said to me was, okay, I go in for the first meeting. What do you call it? The consultation. No, I don't want the information. Give it to me later. Then he prolongs it for months, and then you give it to him. Well, I don't want to see it digital form. I want to see it in printed out form. But you can because it's video. And then you come to the office. Well, I don't want to look at this. And then the day before the trial, Kevin, you didn't give me anything. It's last minute. Oh, seriously, yeah. I don't think we're gonna have time to go. Then he claims he's represented 60 murder trials, trying to make it look like I killed someone and all sorts of weird shit.
We got murder. If he did, there is blood. There's blood. We got nothing to wait here. It's not close to last minute. They're very early. A year for the misdemeanor case? No, what I'm saying is that it could end up that long. This is not last minute at all. We're at close to a trial. We're at close to anything. The DA just gave us the reason for in the last court case. This is just started. Waiting on the night close to the last minute. That's why I wanted to meet with you on Tuesday. So when I go to court on Thursday. It's a pre-trial hearing on Thursday. There's going to be both parties talking about, no, there's not. It's in room 105.
Okay, well, I don't know the process. I do now, but that's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Day one, he should have been there going, I want to know everything that's going on, and we're going to work inwards to figure out how to defend you, right? He's just constant the whole time yelling at me, not letting me talk, and keeping me quiet.
Nobody's going to get up on the city attorney. You know what a pre-trial hearing is. Isn't the pre-trial of both trials? Yeah, where they talk about the issues on both sides and see if they can resolve it. No, that's not going to happen. The only person that's going to be there is the city attorney. There's no cops going to be there. Nobody's going to be there. You're not even going to be there unless you want to be there. I just want you to comprehend, Richard, this is a problem, that you can't...
Okay, well, first of all, we're not going to have time. It's already 12 o'clock, right? Okay, so maybe we'll continue this another time. I don't even know. The point is, okay, he's right. I didn't know the process, but that's irrelevant. The entire problem is that he doesn't want to listen to my defense. That's the problem. From day one to the end. And with the angry, I don't have time for you and this and that, blah, blah, and you're a bad person. Well, that's not what lawyers do. Lawyers aren't judges. Oh, by the way, look at the second horizontal stripe. Okay, so lawyers aren't judges, and there's no reason this lawyer or any other lawyer wouldn't sit there and look at the information I have and go, this is unacceptable. Yeah, and as far as the civil side, it's a slam dunk. I've given you 15 terabytes of a taste of what you've seen. Now you tell me if, example, let's take Starbucks. And this applies to more than Starbucks. It applies to LAPD, Coffee Bean, Starbucks, many other places. You file a suit against Starbucks for being discriminated and harassed. They go in for deposition. Well, we have about 10 terabytes of video footage of mass groups coming in and employees harassing you, and employees making up lies that you supposedly masturbated in their bathrooms, and employees making up lies that you did this, and employees making up lies. We have video footage of you working with security guards saying that you have to sign confessions or you're not allowed here. That's totally irrelevant, but yeah, they didn't give me a copy. You can't walk up to customers and say you did this and sign here. Okay? You're brutalizing this guy. You're torturing him. You ruined this guy's life and reputation on every level. This guy can't work. He can't make money. He can't go to any place in public worldwide because of what you, Starbucks, did to his life. Correct? Damages. Lawsuits. Any laws based on damages. Criminal law, he chopped off my arm. Damages. He robbed my house. Damages. Civil law, because of what you did, he can never work. Damages. Okay?
You can't trust them.
Now they're in deposition for a civil suit. 10 terabytes of video come out. We'll show you one. Do you want to watch the next 10 terabytes? Okay. So, do you want to give Kevin $500 million or you want to go to trial? That's fine. We'll go to trial. We'll make this public. We'll get this video to the world in public. Do you want Starbucks to be known for a discriminating, Jew-hating, his kind can't exist? We're going to hunt him down with worldwide support and kill him, all on video? What do you think? I know you're not a lawyer, but what do you think as far as going into a courtroom with a lawyer? Remember, Seymour has told me I don't have a case. How do you feel?
Absolutely. Is that what you mean? Like you definitely.
I'm asking, even though you're not a lawyer, what do you think, from your opinion, whether I have a case, damages against my life, and whether it's winnable?
Well, yes, absolutely. You have documented evidence of physical and like the emotional harm.
Like beyond anything you've ever seen, right?
Absolutely. And nobody will even listen to you. That's what's
Correct.
like the shittiest thing, because then they would know all these things, even though they
Yeah.
already know. But it's like there's no. The first time I saw a video that you showed me, I was like, oh my god, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, how would you not say?
Yeah. And these are all day, night, 24/7 for 18 years. Not one little thing.
No.
Okay. Now let's take it to the next level. The police obviously know what's going on, but they choose to help Starbucks. Okay. Now we have LAPD people in a courtroom in a deposition. We have video footage. We have internal affair calls. We have 20 recorded conversations from LAPD stating that people are allowed to get together and kill you if they don't physically touch you, and you refuse to help them no matter who he goes to. Do you think it's going to even go past that deposition? Do you think LAPD wants to be on the news channels showing that they helped hunt down and kill Jews or his kind or whatever?
They don't want to know.
Okay, so it's a slam dunk. They all know it. Killing me is their option. Okay? Now, for Seymour to say you don't have a case of this, that. Now, is the same argument relevant for self-defense? Yes. Absolutely. You're sitting in a public location, 1,000 people per hour show up, mentally battering you to death to try to set you up and rid you of the world. It goes on all day and night, 24/7 for 18 years, /42. It's a slam dunk in self-defense because it's all on video. Then Seymour lies with everyone else. Well, it's inadmissible as evidence. Exactly. How? How is a mass mobbing to torture and kill someone of the world on video inadmissible as evidence when the guy is saying, I'm in danger from Kevin, but he has video footage of you working with 100,000 people per hour trying to kill him? How is that irrelevant? It's beyond any level of relevance. Now look at the dialogue, the personality of Richard Barnwell or Seymour Amster.
They just get mad and they don't even listen to you.
Correct. Instantly. Okay, the tell first of all, the tell is that if I walk into Seymour or Richard Barnwell or any other law office and go, this is what's being done, they go, I don't want to hear it.
That's what you said on that too, no lawyer, right? Didn't you say no lawyer?
But they're making the judgment before seeing the evidence. They refuse. It's like Detective Shapiro. I got that video of the dog attacking you, but there's nothing there.
That blows my mind. That's physical
Bullshit.
evidence. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
at all, you
Okay.
know?
It's the same thing. They are looking the other way and they're going, you don't have a case, and then they're going, I don't really believe that people are doing these things to you. All I see is that you supposedly did this to Terrence Scroggins and yada yada yada.
Even though you're bleeding and have a hospital.
But I've sent you 100 videos. You flat out sat in Brittany's office saying I've seen the videos. But Brittany's seen 1% of what Seymour's seen, and Richard Barnwell,
Right.
and you instantly said, "Oh my God."
It was horrible.
Okay, are you telling me that they don't have that common sense because they don't have psychology degrees?
No.
Bullshit.
No, anybody can see it, you know,
Right?
the way that they talk.
So what does that tell you?
That was full of poo.
They're full of poo.
I mean, I don't understand. No, because
They're
right.
they have something to hide, right?
I mean, anybody could see what you're saying, even if they don't believe
Yeah.
or whatever that it's happening, whatever it may be, whatever they claim it's coincidence or whatever, they're still denying that it's happening. It's not denying it. You see it with your own eyes, you know?
Yeah.
And
But they're
you know
not
what I mean?
denying because they're in denial. They're denying because they're associated with people they don't want to stand up to.
It's reasons. Horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know
So-
how else to put it.
So as far as if you take the equation of they don't want to come forward out, it's a slam dunk as far as winning on the criminal case against me and the civil case against them. It's a slam dunk in my favor for both. If you take the equation of I'm going to lie and say I don't see it and turn the blind eye.
That's
Okay, so as far as for lawyers to tell me that, they're not telling me it because they believe it. Right, and you would agree with that, or
yeah.
I'll
well,
let
I
you
mean,
freely
unless
talk
they're,
about it.
like, literally like blind or something. No, they see what I see, you know?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So there's some.
Yeah, so we can all agree
I don't
that-
know law, I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense.
So we can both agree then that if they're saying they don't see it and they refuse to listen to the argument, it's not because they believe what they're saying, they have something to hide, or they don't want to stand up.
They don't want to acknowledge it.
Yeah, and I can't tell you, is it fear, is it... If this is coming from the White House at the top, I don't see it. You know, it's kind of like, it's like when that dude's thrown out of a building by a mobster, and this is a theoretical.
Yeah.
Someone's thrown out of a building.
Oh, I didn't.
The first thought that came to my mind was like the movie Crow, The Crow. Whatever. Guy's thrown out of his apartment building and none of the people want to be witnesses because they know they'll be killed. Right, that type of thing. Although the enemy here isn't mobsters, the enemy here is people in the judicial system going up the ladder.
There's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to tell you. I don't remember the term for it, but there's that.
It does happen, but this is strange because it's planetary.
Right.
I mean, how can 7 billion people sit there and go, how am I gonna land?
I'm gonna tell you, I'll play it. I gotta go. I'm gonna fill this up, right?
Okay.
Because it's like 10, 12, 10, right?
Yeah, 12/7.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna. I didn't even get to this, which is huge. This is like 3 pages. So, okay, so we're gonna do Friday. This is all things related mostly to my father's office and the events in my father's office. Oh, did you watch the links?
Which ones? I watched some of them. I watched the one that you were talking to and then when showed the pictures and then the video of the guy yelling.
No, I sent you links of the office, Golden State Sports Medical Office mobbings. I also sent you something like a 128-page blog I wrote, which is still not done, explaining situations at my father's office in the parking lot there, in the parking of my house. And I said, look at the parked cars, how the cars are parked. You need to look at those for the next. And you just skim it. Don't.
Okay.
And then we're going to discuss the mass brutal mobbings at my father's office. and how this associates to the public locations. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's a huge, and so I go through specifics like George Escobar, Shayna Braun Seva, Alita, Brandon, Adriana Olivares. Okay, so we're going to go through these specific terror operations at my father's office on Friday, and linking to Richard Barnwell, I don't want to help you. Linking to Seymour Amster, I don't want to help you. How my father is associated, here's another striker. How my father is associated, I'm going to rattle this off super high speed. My father does work comp. He's an orthopedic surgeon who does work comp, which means the people who get injured on the job, he's referred to by attorneys, and they work with private investigators to prove this way or that way, showing a connection between my father's business dynamics with lawyers and private investigators. Do you see the connection?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going any further on that. Brittany has to go. We really didn't get much done, which I don't even know if it's probably pointless to finish the Richard Barnwell. Maybe we'll, maybe we won't.
We should. I'd like to hear the rest of it.
Okay, so anyways, Brittany's got to go, and until next time, go Friday.
Right?
Yeah. Isn't that disgusting?
Can I do that?
Yeah,